Gotta tell you, what an amazing day today's been. Like it's been a big day in the aspect of had a lot to do, had very, very little sleep. Just trying to work through some stuff at the moment. But I tell you, right now, I don't know if you can hear it, but down below me right now, there's a gorgeous kid singing at the top of his lungs, happy as. And he's happy because today we actually went into a podcast studio and we had a look at whether or not we're going to run a podcast, him and I, talking between a father and a son about the things in life. It's a pretty cool idea. We haven't got the money for it. It's an expensive operation to do it properly. So if we're going to do it, we'll probably run a GoFundMe page and have a crack at doing something really different where we actually take our life and we pull it apart and we put it back together, and we're going to hopefully show people how we can communicate that. Hey, John Hope, how are you, mate? Good to see you, gorgeous human. And so continue on a little bit last night. Really good to see you, John. I want to share with you my passion. I want to share with you why I do what I do and why I'm so passionate about having safe places, why I'm so passionate about a pair of socks, why I'm so passionate about our dark days, right? And the main reason for that is the fact that unhealed pain gets carried with you and you get to gift that to somebody. Who do you gift that to? Who does your pain go into? It's so important to me to have safe places for men to learn how to use their emotions instead of bottling it up, because it bottles up and it festers, and at some point it's going to unleash. And I've only got to look at my own life to see the impact of that. So that is why it goes to your kids. Absolutely it does, John. And absolutely it does. We've had many a conversation around this, you and I, with Papa and many others, about how important it is to lead by example with our kids, to step up to the plate and show them a better way to doing things. I mean, what is a successful parent? Well, in my eyes, a successful parent is somebody who improves their parenting skills beyond what they were taught by their parents. For me, that's a successful parent, because you only ever do anything based upon the experiences you've had. You know, in order to create something different, you've got to have new experiences. So I think that's yeah. Sorry, you got me a little bit there, John, because it does go to our kids. You know, I went back to days with my father, and you know, like, he had pain, he had unhealed pain, and that was inside his movements, and it was in everything he did. You know, like in the way he spoke to people, the way he thought about himself, the way he chose to numb himself, you know, like an alcohol. Like I did that for years too. You know, like I was like, it wasn't until I understood him and learned how he grew up that I actually went, wow, no wonder those situations happen. No wonder those things happen. You know, so what am I about, right? We all have pain. We all go through situations that cause us significant pain. The opportunity is to actually heal that pain so that it's not gifted on to other people. One of the things that I've been looking at a lot at lately is generational trauma, and how all our predecessors in our past have created who we are, simply because of that emotion is shown in people's faces, it's shown in culture, it's shown in our physiology, the way we hunch, the way, you know, we come in or we go big, you know, depending on our experiences, we learn our behaviors. Alan Stevens does a lot of that work, which is really cool, about understanding your facial expressions, and basically your entire facial profile and the way your cheeks and the muscles work in your face. It's all a reaction to your experiences in life. So it's really cool to understand. I myself, I'm very, very much focused on the men in Frankston at the moment, and I'm really super excited about the opportunity of possibly starting up Smiles for Life in Newcastle. Like that's just fantastic. That's because I know the difference it's making to the men, right? And I don't know if you can hear that. If you can hear that, give me a thumbs up because I'll tell you what, it's pretty cool. Little man rocking out. So, but with the men's work I'm doing, right? I actually, you know what? I'm going to ask you a question. I'm actually going to ask you to shut your eyes. Do you know a man in your friendship circle or family that's been in significant pain? What was that pain? Was it a divorce? Was it a permanent injury? Was it regret? Was it a big loss? Was it suicide? Was it a broken relationship between them and their son? Now look at them in that pain, that unhealed pain. Who did they gift that to? How many people in their lives did they feel that fill with that pain? We all have pain. We all have dark days. I've never met anybody who hasn't. It's what we do with that pain. You see, a problem's not the problem. It's how you respond to that problem. It either creates the pain, the lesson, or the opportunity. The pain's what comes first. And if we have the courage to investigate the pain and learn the lessons from that, then we get the opportunity to grow. We get the opportunity to do something with those lessons beyond what we can currently see. I'm going to grab this for a sec, Ron, and I really appreciate this. With my now adult kids, I've taught them to be I and live in the moment, respect, love, empathy, and sympathy. Mine is the pain of my family being a woman, obviously, just putting it out there. Do you know what, Ron? And I love you with all my heart, but it's not obvious. You know, your pain is obvious, but the actual circumstances aren't. And that for me is the gift of you and I, because you share that with me. You give me the opportunity to learn you. And because of that, you live in my heart. Because of that, we've got a connection. Because of that, we're able to have discussions about things that most people can't. And I love that. And I'm very grateful for that. Hmm. We know how that feels, me saying that, Bron. It's not where you start, it's where you finish. Well, I love that, right? Because if there's anybody on this planet that hasn't made a mistake, I'd really like to meet them. But before they made that mistake, they actually thought that it would be a good idea, right? You don't make a decision to make a wrong decision. You make a decision because with the information at hand, that's the best decision for you in that moment, right? Only once you've made that decision will you know that it's a wrong or right. And I think that's the key, right? Make a decision. Make a decision because you can fix a wrong decision. You can't fix indecision. So I'm grabbing this one now. Our emotions are so incredible. I expressed I felt I felt extreme loneliness. My counselor said she thought it was grief. I think she was right. Either way, it was painful. But when I identified it, I had the aha moment. Oh, I like that. because that's so true, right? One of the things that hopefully we get this podcast off the ground with Oscar and I is the fact that once we start exploring things and we start understanding things, we get to go into the opportunity of understanding, but we need to be curious about that. We need to ask quality questions about that and explore and try and pick it apart. Is it this? No. Okay. Well, is it this? No. Okay. Is it this? Or actually, it feels like that. Oh, okay. So what does that mean? Okay, let's open that up, right? And let's just get, once you're in the curiosity mode, it's hard to stay in the pain because you're looking for solutions, right? So I love it. John Hope, resilience, resilience. That's a whole topic for me that resilience. You can't buy it. You have to earn it. You have to earn it by going through all the things in life that, you have to go through. And that is something that I'm forever grateful that I've had the opportunity to do. Thank you, John. I heard, this one here. I heard someone recently say that loneliness is not about being alone, but about the distance from connecting with another. Oh, geez, that's an opportunity, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like I heard someone recently say loneliness is not about being alone, but about the distance from connecting with another. It's interesting, right? Because when you're connected to yourself and you own your story and you take the opportunity, love that, John. Thank you. I love that. And because it's challenging, right? That's a challenging statement that I really like, because loneliness, it's actually the biggest problem in our society at the moment. Loneliness is the number one issue within all of our society. What is it about loneliness that makes it such a big issue, right? The distance from connecting with another. Now, I read that and I go, I don't look at the physical distance. I look at the distance from my heart to your heart. How connected am I into something? How connected am I into my purpose? How connected am I into my community? How connected am I into my friendship circles? How connected am I into, like literally sitting here? I'm connecting with you. We're talking. We're having a real conversation. There's no sales in this. This is just a conversation about life. And already, it's like this isn't. I'm connecting with hearts, right? We're connecting with people. The distance between you and I physically is a mile, miles. But in reality, it's here to there. Because you're sharing your honesty with me. I'm sharing my heart with you. So we're close. We're connected. What do you think about that? Share that with me. I'm really looking forward this Sunday to doing, which I'm actually about to do, my paperwork for the TEDx opportunity, which is going to be cool. I got the opportunity to do a quick run through today at my BNI group in, I go to BNI in Hawthorne. BNI is a business networking group. I'm the not-for-profit. I hold the not-for-profit seat at the Hawthorne BNI, which we have at Kooyong Tennis Club. Like, what an amazing place to have breakfast, right? Once a week, go to Kooyong, walk past all these fantastic old rackets. You know what? I'm going to sneak some photos and put them up soon. So thank you, John. Thank you. And thank you, Bron. But inside the BNI group, like, I'm learning to present, a 60-second pitch for what I do. I'm learning to talk about what was my ideal referral. Like, so often in life, we don't ask for what we need, and I haven't. I've just been out there doing things all the time and just having a crack at things, but I've never really asked for a referral. And now I'm really trying to open that up. Look at this. See this. See this. All right. I'm going to grab this. We're only 1,703 kilometers apart, but you're with me every day because of who you are and what you do. Daryl Vine, you live in my heart. I love you. Yeah. And like it's interesting because I've had a few challenges lately, and I'm trying to work through those. Daryl Vine, although I didn't answer the phone all the time, keeps staying connected. Just ringing me, letting me know that he knows. I know he's there, and that means the world to me. And it's so funny, isn't it, Daryl? Like, because realistically, we connected and we didn't meet each other. We just connected through our heart because we're sharing our passions. We're sharing the things that are important to us. 1,703 kilometers apart, yet we're still connected. I love it. Thank you, Daryl. I love this, and I'm gonna go a little bit sideways here because Bron, I love you with all my heart for this one. Bron swears I've got angel wings, so she asks me to actually walk through doors sideways so I don't hit my wings. Oh, I love it, mate. It's such a gorgeous picture. I really appreciate that. So this one, yes, the feeling of being lonely is not about being in your own space, but the pain to feel unseen, unheard, and unconnected. Bang. So what do we need to do with that? How do we reconnect? How do we tap into that? Sometimes it takes effort, right? Sometimes we've got to front up. Sometimes we've got to do things that are uncomfortable. But when we do that, we get the opportunity to grow. When we do that, we get the opportunity to create more. The Smiles for Life scenario, I'm just so happy with what's going on with that because I, I I started it because of a conversation I had with a dad who his partner was going through a fair bit and he was trying to support her and all the boys and he just he had nowhere to go. He had nowhere to just talk and just get everything off his chest for a bit. Didn't have anyone to hold space. Didn't have anyone to see him, to hear him, to connect to him on a level of heart so that he wasn't lonely in dealing with that situation. Like loneliness doesn't just appear in someone who's living on their own. You could be going through a really tough situation and feel really lonely because you don't have the answers. No one's understanding what you're going through. It can be really lonely, but only when you take that loneliness and share it with somebody and so I'm actually I'm not okay. I've got this scenario. I'm not quite sure how to deal with it. What you can ask in that moment is who can help me with this? Who can I reach out to actually grab that and go, hey, which reminds me, I need to do something. A little note for Scott. All right. Can't forget that one because that's important. Love being live and just turning up and doing these things, hey? All right. But that's okay because I'm giving my best. And I'm going to say something and I'll take it as it comes. How many people are married and they're lonely in their marriage? They're lonely because they're not connected in their heart. They're lonely because they haven't had the courage to go through that and to have the big discussions and the opportunity. Just I use the word opportunity a lot, don't I? And mainly because I see a problem as an opportunity. So that's why I use it a lot. But I'm going to throw this up now. Thank you, John. When we hurt people intentionally or unintentionally, we isolate ourselves from people we care about. It's only with their forgiveness we can come back. Until then, we drown ourselves in guilt and shame. I'm going to pull this apart a bit, John. I so often we hurt people that we don't want to. Sometimes our discombobulation, the way I love that word. Sometimes the way we're trying to deal with the situation and not understanding it creates pain for other people. And I'm okay with that. It's going to sound crazy if we're prepared to work on it together. I've never met anybody who's made a decision to make the wrong decision. So, with that in mind, understanding why that situation happened is more the key to healing, and we do feel guilt and shame when we hurt people. We really do. That's that's a real problem, right? Because that guilt and the shame, it's only because we haven't got the tools to work through it. I know with my father, there was a lot of guilt and shame for both of us, and which is, I'm going to grab that in a sec. Actually, I'm going to just go to that now, right? Forgiveness is a two-way street, but starts with forgiving ourselves first. And it's okay to make mistakes, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Emma, hurt people, 100%. That's 100%. Do they do it intentionally? That's the question I've got to ask you. Do they do it intentionally? I'm going to go back to this. I want to hear your answer from that too, Emma. Forgiveness is a two-way street, right? And forgiving yourself, knowing that it's okay to make mistakes. I think we've been educated, and especially in today's society where this need for marketing and getting the product out there and looking at this need for money, this need for constant fuel to get the next thing and the biggest thing, and it's created this vortex of the perfect life. Like what's the perfect like? What do we have to show that we're to live up to the expectations of the media, because they're constantly hitting our fears. They're constantly telling us we're not good enough, so we buy their products, right? I'm bringing it back to this because what is it that's really important to you? What is it that is really going to make or break your life, right? Okay, I'm going to go. I'm trying to decide whether or not yeah, you know what? I'm not going to cheat you. Okay. So, one of the things for me that really frustrates me in life is this the Botox, the big eyelashes, the fakeness of it, the you'll feel better if you do this to you. You'll feel, you cover up your wounds, you cover up your imperfections. You've got to look like this. I'll tell you right now, any good man worth his salt loves a woman as she is. It's not your makeup. Yeah. It's not your Botox. We want to see the life in your face. We want to see the smile that you weren't. I sat there with builders and we're talking about women and what we men loved, and good men, right? These guys do a lot of personal development. They're really having a crack at things. And we're talking about what is it, the features in women that we really love? What is it that we really, really want? A smile. A smile. And do you know where the smile is? In the eyes. Yeah. The eyes are where the smile is. And now a good smile has wrinkles. A good smile has life in it. Yeah. You take those away and you lose trust. You take away the features that give you your experience, you lose trust. Our elders, with their timelines, their education in life sit in their face, and the wrinkles and the shape of the muscles in their face. That's what makes them them. That's what makes them beautiful. That's what makes them worthwhile. What you advertise, you will sell. I'm going to repeat that. What you advertise, you will sell. Where can I find said man? Where can you find them, Emma? And this is not directed to you at all. This is directed to all women. If you want a man that is someone who's willing to step into that conversation, if you want a man that is willing to support and love you, if you're wanting a man that's prepared to go through the tough things, you have to go through them too. You've got to choose to face your demons. You've got to choose to go through your pain in order to find you. And in you is in here. It's in your eyes. Yeah. That authenticity. When I said before about you sell what you advertise, for me, when I see there's like, and I'll take criticism for this and I'm okay with that. It's fantastic to see a beautiful woman. But if your breasts are hanging out and you've got Botox and you've got big eyelashes and, like you're showing off as much skin as possible, I'm not interested. You're selling your body. You're selling the features that don't work for me. That's something sacred. Your body is a gift. It's an absolute gift. Treat it as one. If you're going to give that to somebody, you're going to give your body to someone. Treat it with kindness. Treat it with compassion. It is such a lucky thing to allow somebody close enough to hold you, to hug you. So it's nice having a hug just as a close-on hug. But to have one with another person that you're intimate with, it's a bloody gift. Who do you want to give that to? Everybody? Yeah. The way you turn up naturally, I tell you what, every good man I know, every man that I speak to about, oh, hang on, do you know what? No, I'll just disappear on you, right? Yeah. I've sat with men and I ask the questions, right? The questions, what do men really like about women? Right? This is not the advertising. This is 20 men sitting there trying to work it out. A sense of humor. They see the real you. Confidence in themselves, in their own skin. A full can of peaches. A full can of peaches means that they're full themselves. It's a full can of peaches. It's enough to share. That they're supportive. They have an inner strength. They have an inner beauty. This one's beautiful. We men love the fact that women have the ability to be able to give birth. We are in awe of what you do in order to create a family. I'll never forget when I was looking at Marcella many years ago, and I was looking at the C-section scar, and I put my hand on it, And I just said, thank you for what you've done to create a family for us. Your body has literally worn the scars of that for us. It was a real moment of appreciation that I didn't see until I actually really understood what that was. Sorry, bit of a go. Encouraging. Yeah. How much does a man love to be encouraged, right? And it can be simple as, you know, thank you. Thank you for just being here. I appreciate that. Oh, wow. Okay. We'll do more of that. If you ever need something done from a bloke, praise him for that thing because I guarantee you he's coming back to do more. Caring, nurturing, understanding, forgiving, and open. A genuine smile, a cheeky smile. Yes, we look at the physical features. Yes, we care about those because that's what we want to touch and caress and be close to. But they're not the things that we really love about you. We love the inner work. Sorry, I just thought I'd go and grab that just quickly. I'm going to throw this up one. If you want other people to respect you, make sure you respect yourself first. I think that's absolutely perfectly said, Daryl. But I also want to grab the fact that I think that goes with all things in life. If you want to be trusted, you need to trust. Yeah, whatever you're looking for from others, you need to find within before you can actually ask it of somebody else. And I think that's something that has been one of my biggest lessons throughout the years is in order to get something, I need to be able to give it. If I can't, I got to give first in order to get. And and that includes love, that includes trust. Like I never forget the back in the day when I was steel fixing, you guys had come along and I'd go and get lunch, and I'd give them a credit card. And they just go, what? So just use the credit card. Just go and get everyone lunch. This is what we need. Go and get it. But that's your credit card. Dude, you're not going to steal from me because if you do, you lose. And you'd only do it once and then you lose the opportunity to do the whole lot. So that's your choice. Like you can do that, but I'm going to give you my trust. Yeah. So therefore I got it back. This one, I'm going to grab this. Physical features are more attracting. Okay, come alive when you know what is behind it, their heart and who they are. Then they become so crazy attractive. All right, back again. I think I'm back again. Doesn't matter if sometimes I disappear, sometimes I don't. But I think that's such a true thing, right? When you meet somebody and then you really learn the real them, you take the time to really know their heart. You take the time to really know who they've become. When that real connection to the mind and to the soul, and then you get the opportunity to really connect. The physical side of things is just phenomenal. Love that. Not quite sure who put that comment up, but thank you. Bron, man, I've got a lot of inside work to do. I've started DBT therapy, external work in progress. Oh. I want to say something. It's really close to home. But I need to ask permission. So I can't. I can't. Good work, Scott. It's a big, and that's something I've learnt recently. And last few years that I actually disrespected today and had a big reminder from Oscar. I talked about ask. I was talking about a situation. He goes, "Dad, you didn't ask my permission to share that. That's a really personal conversation that I'm not comfortable with you talking about." I'm like, "Oh yeah, shoot." I forget that I am open. I share as much as I can, and I'm comfortable with that. But when it comes to sharing things that are super personal for other people, I've got to ask their permission because it may not be okay. Mm. So in this situation, note to self, I'm not going to share it, but know that my heart is growing in different ways. So, Brian, I just want to grab this. We've all got a lot of work to do. Okay, it's not the problem. Like it's just a continual evolution of becoming you. And without going into detail for you, you're learning. You've got people in your life that can hold space for you now. That's a beautiful thing. Let it go. Safe environment, right? You know what, John? I believe life is safe. I believe that we all. It doesn't matter what we share of our lives. I think it's really important that we ask permission if we share what's going on in other people's lives. Yeah. I got to remember that. I got a reminder today. He is learning what he lives, thanks to you. I really appreciate that, John. And stay tuned to that, because if the Rockstar and I get up and get this podcast up and going, and I really hope we get some. It's not going to be a cheap exercise because we want to do it properly. We want to go through a studio and we want to get an actual proper broadcasting. So then it's clear with a language that doesn't have internet breakups. It's a beautiful thing. So we're going to have a look at that, because I don't know. I think I have an amazing relationship with my son. I've invested a lot of time, energy, and love that I had to learn. But most importantly, I had a willingness to learn from him. I've had a willingness to make mistakes and be corrected from him. And I think that has been the greatest part of success in our relationship, is the opportunity for him to correct me when I need it. It's been such an important thing, because he might be wrong. I might be wrong. Perhaps there is no wrong. Perhaps it's just a lesson we need to learn so that we can grow together. And how many times in your life have you been through a really crappy situation and you sat down afterwards and you've worked it out and you've gone through it all? And it's tough to do that, especially when it's emotional and you're hurting. But you walk away much stronger because you have, you know. Mm. Do you know what? I was only popping up for 10 minutes to have a bit of a chat, but I love this, right? This is what I love. I love turning up, having a conversation, and I'm learning to do them on my own now. A little bit nerve wracking when I do that, but hopefully you're getting some value out of it without me having someone else to bounce off. Maybe, what day is it? Can't do tomorrow night. But maybe I'm going to start up. I'll just see. I want to do one day where I can actually put the link in to the comments where people can come in. They can ask me a question live, and then we'll discuss that question and we'll open it up. And once that question's been talked through, then I'll move that person out of the studio and the next person come in and ask another question. How would you feel about that? If I did that, would you want to be a part of that? So let me know. That'd be something really different. I'd actually like to try it. What if getting started was more basic and it meant that you could get started? Then you build, your audience builds, your quality builds, What would allow you to get it going and make your hearts sing together? Wish I knew who that was. Hey, Arnie Shaz. All right, Bron, we'll do that, yeah? So we'll, just for you, Bron, that I only needed you to say that. The only thing is, Bron, I'm going to ask you the courage to come onto camera, right? And you can come onto camera through your phone. I will put up the link in the comments, and we'll make that happen. Arnie Shaz, so good to see your name. It's really good. What if getting sales more basic and it meant you could get started and you build your audience? Yeah, and I grabbed that, and can I say I appreciate that. Over the last, I've done podcasting, popping up live for 5 years now. I think I do a pretty reasonable job, but it's time to get a better quality recording so that I can use that for better marketing, so that doesn't happen when I drop out. So we'll see how we go. All right. I'm not sure if I'm back on now, but I actually have a lot to do. I have to get prepared for this TEDx. Maybe I've turned up and just got in the way of everything, but that's okay. So I am going to close out. I'm going to say thank you for turning up. If it's a record. Come on, bro. Where's the button? You know what? Here it is. From my heart to yours, thank you for being here. From my heart to yours, thank you for doing your best right now. Now I have to find